Sorry.
No, it's okay. You're free to be slightly perturbed.
Oh, I'm not. Here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
I'm not really perturbed at all.
You're not?
No, not at all.
I can tell you're a little perturbed, at least a little bit. In the tone of voice, there's a little bit of perturbedness.
I mean, I just felt we had a cool thing going. So I'm not gonna get into it because I know that we hate breaking the fourth wall around here. But I do want to say that this is we were chatting
attempt
for a little bit.
Yeah, we were talking for a bit and we had some issues, but we're fine now. Ideally,
Which is, I mean, here's the thing: we've had entire episodes that we've had to scrap. So like 10 minutes, it's not that big.
Not
of a
that
deal.
bad, but okay.
And also,
yeah.
Arthur's playing producer man.
I am producer man. I have the stick, not the stick. I have the switcher boy, so I can switch scenes now. So I have to be a good boy and do that.
So I will not be upset about the fact that it's taking a little bit of adjustment because I have always, ever since we first started doing OBS episodes, I think that was like episode 10.
I want to say
or something
no.
like
I
that.
think it was episode 5. We say episode 10 because we scrapped episode 6 through 9 in order to get to 10, which would have been the OBS episode.
Shit. Anyways, so yeah, I think there was a brief stint where, Arthur, you were being producer man and switching
yes.
cameras, and then you were like, fuck this shit.
We found out that I am not good at that.
Which
I'm not
is
good
totally
at switching
fine.
it live. It's too much pressure. It's not that it's too much pressure. It's just my muscle memory does not want to switch scenes. I even have trouble
totally
with
fine.
it doing it on stream, like on my YouTube. I have trouble doing it on stream as well. See, I wasn't even talking on my screen just now. It was just on. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know what? It's totally fine though, because that's what kind of makes it human, you know? Like,
that's true.
We're doing it live. We're switching the cameras live. You know, we're doing live EQ, everything like that.
Well, I will say one thing I do not really like a whole lot about, this is a personal preference, about current podcast post-edited podcasts, I guess, right? Well, a pet peeve that I kind of have is that they treat it like it's this, I don't know if this is even a term that exists anymore, but back in the Black Ops 2 days, we'd call it cut commentaries. So basically, if I'm speaking, it's on my camera, but as soon as you talk, Zach,
then it just immediately
it goes
switches.
yes.
Yep.
But instead, like, let's say I'm talking, and then it goes to my camera next, and then you start talking, Zach, right?
And then it takes a little bit, and then it
goes
switches.
exactly. This is what's called a J cut, I think. I believe it's called a J cut. It's just my personal favorite thing. I love, if you watch my videos, I love J cuts. They're my favorite way to transition from cut to cut that makes it not as jarring. Because it's when it cuts immediately to the next phrase, there's a part of me that just, it's not natural, right?
Right.
And it works every now and then. If you're going to cut, but if you just keep doing it over and over again, there's a bit of robotic humanness, or there's a bit of roboticness that gets removed from that human aspect. Like, okay, now it's being edited, but instead now we're doing a thing, and then we talk, and then I'm talking about my things, and then Zach wants to interject.
And then I decide that I want to say some stuff.
Right.
And yeah,
because it's like there's an actual man behind the camera switching the scenes, because there is. Right. But you can do that in editing too. It's just people don't do that.
Right.
Which is why that multicam thing in Premiere was pretty cool, because now you can actually simulate that, because you are on, if nobody's ever tried it, it's great. This is what we did for the beginning of the podcast, and it saves so much time. All you do is set up two, it's been a while since I've used Premiere, so bear with me. Set up 2 nests. You set them into multicam, and then you can switch from both of those nests, or you can basically switch from both my camera, for example, and then Zach's camera. You put them on 2 tracks, one over the other, and then when you press 1, it goes to my camera, and then you press 2, it goes to Zach's camera. A very basic concept, but kind of like what we're doing right now, except you're doing it in post. So you still have that idea of switching cameras.
Right. And I realize that we've kind of gotten a little bit distracted. For those of you who are new here, welcome to the On Education Station podcast. I totally did not sync to the music on purpose. I definitely did.
That's good. That's good.
For those of you who don't know, my name is Zach, and of course I'm here with my buddy Arthur.
I'm Arthur.
Like I said, who's playing producer man today. So I'm really excited to see how this turns out.
Zach is off the wheel. He gets a break. He just gets to talk now.
I have both of my hands.
Yes. Usually it's me that just gets to talk, so I deserve this.
It's not. I'm not upset. Like, I'm totally fine with switching cameras, doing all that kind of stuff, just because I've been doing it for such a long time. Like, if you think about it.
And he's great at it.
I
You're
don't know about.
fantastic. No, you're pretty good, Zach. Every time I watch, like, if I go back to the early, to be fair, it's the early episodes and we're getting used to it. But if I go back to the early episodes when I'm producer mode and I'm switching the cameras, it's just like you're talking and it's on my camera for way too long, and then I start talking and then I switch to your camera for some reason, and it's just it's very odd. But as soon as you took control, you slammed it. You were fantastic at it. And now when you look at the current episodes, it's perfect. There's never a time when the camera is on hold. The only time when the camera is on hold is if you press one of the buttons on this wireless cheap $10 numpad and it doesn't register. So you would have switched, but it didn't. And I noticed this because the way my position when I'm sitting, I can see the screen. I can see the desktop screen. Zach can't see it, so he's trusting his gut. And then for me, I see it. I know I watch him press the button when one of us is ready to talk, and it just doesn't switch. And I'm like, that sucks.
I think it's so cool that you're able to see it, and like it's really unfortunate because the way that our current setup is, obviously we're not in our set because otherwise things would look a little bit different. But normally I'm sitting facing Arthur, and the TV that we use as a monitor is like right outside of my peripheral vision. And so I can't see it.
I mean, you're
95%
basically looking completely away from it 180 degrees. So
yeah. So there.
But I can see it because, of course, I need to be the one to see it. Of course, duh.
Of course,
the one that's not touching the fucking numpad.
The one who's not in control. You could just watch the dumpster fire happen. But yeah, it is really interesting that you mentioned that. I don't use any type of like visual representation of like, oh, okay, cool, I'm on this camera, I can see that I'm on this camera, and then if I want to switch, then like whatever. Like, I don't have that, and I forgot until you mentioned it. And now I'm like, oh shit, that's right. I haven't been able to see, like, when I watch the episodes back and I watch the different cuts between the two of us, this is the first time I'm ever seeing that. Like, I have no idea how the episode's going to turn out.
This is the first time you're seeing the actual camera changing?
Yeah. Like, and I know what the shots look like and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know exactly what it's going to look like after everything's said and done.
Well,
like,
hey, cross your fingers, knock on some wood, and we'll just give it a shot. Who knows? Maybe it turns out good, maybe it doesn't. I mean, maybe it's also a good indication to know just what camera we're on at all times. It's a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice, though, because on my end, because we're doing some post-production madness right now.
It's pretty clever, though. I got to pat myself on the back. What we're doing right now to make this work is pretty good.
It is so fucking good.
Pretty smart.
I'm so happy.
I'm gonna tug my dick. I'm gonna honk my horn. It's pretty good.
It's really good. So just I know that Arthur, you hate breaking the fourth wall, but
go on. Okay, go ahead, do it.
So whenever Arthur is showing his OBS as a camera using the virtual camera, and so I'm
gonna speed it up for you. I'm just switching to a green screen.
So every time I talk, I just see a green box pop up.
You do see a green box, which is basically just his indication to know that it's his turn to talk. Because sometimes I talk too much and I don't let Zach talk. So now if I do this, Zach has to talk. It's your turn, Zach. It's your quarter.
It's my turn. Yep, it's my turn.
No matter what, I can't talk.
Yep.
Green light.
It's my turn. I have the green box.
No,
I have the green box.
I don't know, not anymore. See, but it's funny because nobody's going to see the green box. Right. I've just been having fun with green screens. I think green screens is a great concept, and we're going to utilize it pretty soon. You guys are going to see that. It should look pretty cool.
Oh my gosh. I just remembered what I have pulled up as a visual representation of you.
Oh yeah.
On my computer.
Well, because you can't see me right now because we took like an hour to set this up, which sounds like not a lot. It sounds simple. But of course, because technology is not so simple, we do the simple things, but it doesn't work. until you do more harder things to make it work.
Yeah.
Because that's how technology works.
Yeah. So basically, I get to stare at a JPEG of Arthur, and I really hope that we remember to put that that screenshot
Zach,
in somewhere.
I'm not going to remember unless you tell me.
Okay, I will tell you at
No, you're
10
not.
minutes and something.
You're not going to. You know why I know that?
Because I've said that before.
Because you've
and then
said
I
that
completely
before.
Forgot.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. It's our fault collectively. One, for you not reminding me. Two, me not caring.
Fair. That's very fair, actually. Yeah, you know, it is kind of interesting because when we do these Discord episodes, there's always going to be a little bit of a different dynamic, just because like I'm never in my room when we do these episodes. Like this is the first time, like the recent set of Discord episodes that we've done is the first time that I've actually just been in my room and I'm just hanging out at my desk.
No, we did one
couch.
where you're on. Oh, I guess you're right, huh? No, you weren't on your setup. That's right. You were just on a couch.
Yeah,
but that brings up a good point. We have really large rooms, you and I.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why not just utilize as much space as we want? You know, I mean, you have a chair. You don't have to sit on a couch. You can do what I'm doing and just move my chair wherever.
Right. Yeah, and
find different fun angles, like I have right now.
Yeah, and Arthur, you brought up a good point when we were talking earlier. I never really realized how big my room looks until that video that I made of Bo Burnham's.
Yes, your cover of Bo Burnham's. I forget what it's called, but
Look Who's Inside Again.
I think so.
Yeah.
I only remember one name of one song, and it's definitely Jeff Bezos.
Jeffrey Bezos. Anyways, so I never really thought about how big my room looks until it's in with a wide angle. And the crazy thing is that wasn't even that wide. Like I was using a 24 millimeter.
Yeah, no, it's a big room. I mean, it's been a while since I've been there, to be fair. But we were talking. Did we talk about this in the last? No, we didn't in the last episode. Talking about redoing your room, or was that off camera?
I don't remember if it was on camera or off camera, but we definitely did talk about kind of trying to reprioritize or like compartmentalize the different things in my room so that I can have a part of my room that is just like my room stuff. So just like my bed, my clothes, my dressers and stuff. And then
tuck that into the corner because that's all you really need.
And then taking another section of my room and turning it into like an actual studio so that I could have different setups, so I can have like my own quote unquote office space and then go into like different sets that I could do, different backdrops. And I think it's been really fun just to see how creative I could get with just natural backdrops that I have in my room.
Yes.
Because like there's an organ behind me. For those of you who, well, a vast majority of you probably don't know this, but I have an organ from the 80s that my friend Alec, his grandma gave it to me for free. This thing weighs like 400 pounds, and it took 5 people to get it up the stairs into my room.
Yes, and then every day he drives all the way to Seattle and plays in the Mariners Stadium. Zach,
totally.
Right here. Every day, even during the off season.
Yeah,
and he plays classical folk songs.
Yeah, no. But yeah, I just wanted an organ because I thought it was really cool.
Organs are pretty cool.
Organs are really cool, and the sounds that you can get on that thing are really cool.
It's a different play style. If you think you know how to play piano, you don't know how to play an organ.
Arthur, do you want to know something terrible?
Yeah, what's up?
It's not in tune.
Oh, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, but if I try to record with like any other instrument, it's really annoying.
Yeah, but if you're just playing it, it's fine.
Oh, yeah. If I'm just playing it for shits and giggles, like it doesn't matter.
My best time ever playing piano was playing the out of tune Baby Grand Yamaha in my university.
Yeah.
I love
mean,
that shit.
Bro, oh my God.
Zach, when are we going? When are we going to a grand piano, Zach? When is that going to happen? When is it happening?
I don't know. Soon, hopefully.
Soon.
I mean, I don't know anywhere that just has a grand piano that you can play. I mean, maybe at a music store, but I know that the Music World locations don't have them. I don't know about Beacocks anymore.
Well, okay, for a grand piano, we would have to go to a grand piano store specifically. That's where those are going to be. They're, usually, like a Music World definitely is not going to have one. A Beacock probably won't have one. I've never seen one there. Guitar Center and stuff are not going to have one. So you would have to find one that exists, such as like our high school, but I don't think we would just be able to play that. Plus, it's coffined. Or we try hit up my old university and see if they're down to jam.
I mean, you know where the key is.
I do know, unless they hit it. I don't know. Because unless they found it. Okay, there is one reason why they might have been able to find it, but I'm never going to say it, obviously. For the news listeners here, there's a grand piano in my university that me and some other colleagues, we kind of formed this unofficial piano club where we would bum class. No, not really. I would bum class. They were good students, but I would bum class and just go there to the grand piano that's situated inside of a lecture hall in our university and just play music, all sorts of music. One guy, he played classical music. One guy played movie scores. I played my anime music. It was a great time.
Right.
And that's what we would do. However, one year, they locked the piano. You can lock these grand pianos. Which is stupid, by the way. I mean, I know why, but for vandalism reasons, sure. But that's still stupid. I don't care. Because nobody's going to touch it anyways. Unless, because it's in a weird spot where you would have to go out of your way to vandalize it. Like, why would you do that, you know?
Right.
So, only people who are going to touch that grand piano is people who want to play it. Whether they're professionals or amateurs. They want to touch the keys a little. Why not let them touch the keys, man? Anyways, I thought that was stupid, and the only way to get the key was you had to go to Human Resources and ask for the key. That's no problem. It's literally right out the door. You go leave the lecture hall, and Human Resources is right there.
Right.
So you may ask yourself, Zach, Anuki, why don't you just ask for the key? Go ahead, ask that.
But Anuki, why don't you just...
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes, and by sometimes, I mean all the times, they have meetings in there. And they lock the door.
Sadness.
That's some dumb shit. So now I have to sit there and wait. And by that, I mean wait until basically my next class starts. And that's not going to happen. So I looked online, and I found the key. I'm not going to say any more than that. I found the key. So I took a chance on this key that had no reviews, and I just bought it. I got it, and it worked. It went in the Yamaha. I unlocked it. Easy peasy. The next thing to figure out was where I'm going to hide it, because I don't want to keep it on me because I want my fellow club members to use it as well, right?
Right.
In case they'd like to. So I had to hide it, and I hid it in such a good spot that nobody except us knows where it is. Nobody. I even asked my good friends. I didn't tell them, not because I didn't like them, but it's just out of like
respect for the hustle. Probably.
Exactly, respect for the hustle. I didn't tell my good friends, even though they always came by to listen to us, whether it was me playing or them playing. They always came by and it was a great time. But I didn't tell them. But what I did do was say, "Hey, try and find it," and they could not find it.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. So it was in a really good spot. However, depending on how they handled the piano after we left, whatever they did to that room or anything, it's still possible that they found it. It's in a really good spot, but because of where it is, it's almost like a hidden in plain sight type of thing. It's not quite just randomly out like on a table or something, but it is in a very not inconspicuous spot, but it's a spot. Like, if you went for it, you'd be like, oh, you know what I mean? It's one of those spots.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, there are those little hide-a-key boxes that you can get that just have like a little...
box?
Yeah. They're little boxes that have like a little sliding top on it, and then you can put your key in there, and then it has a magnet on the back. And a lot of people use those for like spare keys for their cars and stuff.
Oh, but
And
so it would be, it's a physical box?
yeah.
Then where would I hide? So then I would have to hide a box now.
Right. But it had a magnet, and you could stick it to stuff. And it's really funny because I remember on Jackson's old pickup truck, he had an old Mazda pickup. He had a hide a key, and I knew about it. And so one day I decided that I was just going to relocate his truck for no reason.
The fuck, man?
Yeah, so there was one time where I took a picture on Snapchat of me in the driver's seat of his truck, and I sent it to him, and he was like, "Oh shit, was my truck unlocked?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I got you. Don't worry about it. I locked it." But he didn't know I had a hide. I knew where the hide key was. And then once he, like, the way that he found out that I knew where it was this was in high school. He went into the high school for one reason or another, and I knew that he was just going to come straight back out and hop in his truck, and I think we were like going to my house or something. And so I just got in his truck, started it, and like moved it to the front of the school. And he was like, he was bewildered as to how I managed to like...
Oh, so you actually moved it. It was still in the school. I thought you were going to tell me, then I parked it like across the street or something.
Oh, no.
And you're like, Jackson, I don't know how to tell you this, but your truck is not there anymore.
I mean, you know, we would kind of mess with each other a lot in high school, and it was a lot of times it was just very innocent, stupid stuff like that, where he would like, I don't know, hide my saxophone or something, or like take my folder that had all my sheet music and put it somewhere weird, or I would just relocate his truck to somewhere else because I'm an asshole.
Those are two different evils.
I mean, okay, every single time I parked at the front of the school, Arthur, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That little area.
Oh,
where
yeah.
you can pick people up.
That's only for drop off.
Yeah. So I would park there for like 5 minutes, and Jackson would park, like, he would back up so that his back end was literally like almost touching my car. And of course there would be someone super close behind me, so I'd have to do like a 20-point turn to get out.
Oh,
or like
that is mad tragic.
Him and one of his other friends decided to box me in, so like get really close to my car on either side and do that.
Okay,
so
that's
that was
fucked.
fun.
Yeah, that's fucked. Okay, you know what? I no longer feel bad for Jackson for you relocating his truck. I'm glad you did that, because that's fucked.
I mean,
why would you do that to a high schooler? That's the worst thing you can do to a high schooler, because you know damn well everybody fucking sucks at driving.
Okay, so I will give credit where credit is due, though. It was really funny at the time.
Sure.
It was all in
at the
good
time
fun.
or looking back.
I mean, it was all in good fun, though. I'd be like,
Yes.
Jackson, move your fucking truck. And he'd be like, okay, fine.
Okay,
And
he
then
would move
go
it, though. That's good.
Yeah. It's not like he would do that.
He would just be like, okay, I'm going to go to Winco.
Yeah, it's not like he would do that and then immediately, like, leave, or, like, do that at the beginning of the school day and then not move until the end of the day when I was trying to, like, leave to go to lunch or something. But yeah, it was just kind of, like, really goofy stuff like that. But that's... you hiding the key to the piano is what made me think of that, just because
Right.
it's like, you know, they're really easy to get and they're really easy to hide for like spare keys and stuff, or even like house keys. Like you can find some really creative places to put those little boxes.
I'm not a subscriber of putting the house key under the mat or in a plant.
No.
It's just too obvious. It's too dangerous. I know some people just don't care, but I care, because that's dangerous.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I mean, you kind of forget that, you know, everything you own is in your house. And so it would be a little bit less than ideal if all of that stuff just went away, you know?
Yeah, very much so.
But anyways,
Yeah, we should. Okay, if we did go back to the university, the problem is we're in summer now, so I think they're no, well, not that they're closed, but I highly doubt that the lecture hall is open. Now, I was in cahoots with the janitor, but one, I don't know if he works there anymore. Two, I don't know if he remembers me, so that might be tough. But if we are able to go, that's one grand piano we can always hit, assuming that the key is still there, and or we can unlock it.
And assuming that the piano is still there, right?
There's no reason for it to not be there, I think, because I would assume that there are still plenty of other people who would like to play it. I mean, if you ever want to just go on a fun road trip and, just kind of slam some, see if we could find some pianos, that'd be fun. Spend a day and drive around, go to this university, see if it's there. If it's not, maybe go to Guitar Center and play the digital pianos they got or whatever.
See, now I'm going to look up grand piano stores.
Go for it, yeah. Well, it would probably... Oh, I did mention the grand piano store owned by that one guy that I knew. That one old lad that was a very, very, very friendly guy. And I do really want to go back there and just meet up with them and say hi. What are you talking about? You found one?
Arthur, there's a Steinway & Sons store in Portland.
Oh. Are we doing an Uned special in the piano store? In the Steinway store? Let's go!
Okay. So
are we about to make a plan? Sorry, go ahead. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah, so you're fine. In a previous episode, I talked about how when I went to Las Vegas, I had an opportunity to go and play some Steinway pianos.
Yes.
And I feel like it was vastly understated how amazing of an experience that was for me. Just for the sheer fact that I feel like a lot of people don't realize that it's basically like I've been driving a Toyota Corolla my entire life, and then I got this really cool, weird opportunity to rent a Lamborghini for a couple hours. Mm-hmm. It's that kind of thing where you get this opportunity to take something that you're really passionate about. For me, it's music and playing piano and all that kind of stuff, and getting to see the most reputable companies.
Basically, just be in a room with all your end game pianos.
Yeah, exactly.
And all your end game cars, your end game. Okay, maybe not end game, but or if you're a content creator, let's say, for example, and you go into a room with like PewDiePie and Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, fuck it, Ryan Higa, just absolute YouTube and content creation giants, and or they probably go to like VidCon and stuff still, and you find a way to somehow infiltrate one of those parties of the big beeps,
yeah,
or not even the VidCon party or whatever. Maybe like I'm sure they have a VidCon party. I've heard people talk about it, and apparently it's really cringe now. But you find another way to go into the personal party with your PewDiePies and your presumably Markipliers and your Ludwigs, an example. That you find yourself in a room with those type of people, and whether that be those you content creators, or maybe you're a pop singer, all of your favorite pop artists there, or being in a room like if you enjoy rap, and find yourself in a room with like Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole and shit, and you're like, what kind of room have I made myself into? That's basically how it feels like to be a music enjoyer or a piano enjoyer and find yourself in a Steinway & Sons music store.
So another thing that I realized I probably didn't mention was I went to go see Jacob Collier, what was it, last summer?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Last fall or something like that. And he was playing a Steinway piano, like a Steinway full-size grand. And
lovely.
He literally travels with it, which is insane because he's from the UK and he came here. Where did we see him? Tacoma, I think, or Seattle?
I would assume, yeah.
Yeah, so it was just this crazy ass thing where it was like, oh yeah, that's just a $300,000 piano that he's just lugging around, literally around the world. But like, yeah, I was so jealous.
I was
so jealous. I was so mad. I'm sorry for the semblances. I was so mad because I was like, oh, I would commit crimes to just like boop hit a piano key on that piano.
I know.
And then about a month ago, I got to go and play multiple different, like there was a baby grand, and then there was a full-size grand, and there was also an upright, which was really interesting. And an upright piano, for the uninitiated, is basically the strings are hung vertically like this, as opposed to laying flat across. And, when you see a grand piano, you see like the giant oval shape, or like the giant back behind the keys. That's where all the strings go. And on an upright piano, they go up and down to basically to the ground. And Steinway had one, and I didn't even know that was a thing. So that was definitely a really fascinating experience. And talking to the people there was really funny, because they were like, how'd you hear about this store? And I was like, I just drove by it, and I was like, I need to go there.
So fun. We got to go there, or wherever this one is, or whatever. I just hope
I'm fucking looking it up.
I mean,
again, it's in Portland. Right. I don't know if they'll let you play the pianos there.
So one thing I was wondering is if it's going to be like an appointment-based thing, because I think technically, it wasn't a Steinway's storeroom, but it was the grand piano owner of that store that I've mentioned before, music tutor's friend. I got to have like a kind of a one-on-one with him and play around with some pianos. That was a great time. Technically, that was an appointment. I don't know if it wasn't really a written down appointment, but it was like, my music tutor telling them to let me go on and stuff. So I do think oftentimes, this is a guess. This is an absolute guess. I don't know if this is true, but I would like to imagine something, at least for a Steinway's showroom, that it's probably appointment-based. But it doesn't have to be a Steinway's store. It could just be like just a grand piano store, which would be great. Maybe even if you can find the one that I went to. Okay, you know what? I don't know if you're looking at things up now, but I might look up and see if I can't find that storeroom that I went to.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at I'm looking at the website of this place in Portland. And I don't know if they would let us play the pianos. I'm not certain.
I didn't think so.
But, I mean, you never know, right? Like, I think, they're going to be selling pre-owned Steinways at this store pretty soon. That's what it sounds like.
I think I found it. What? I think. Michelle's Piano. I'm pretty sure this is the one I went to. Because I knew it was like Michael's or something like that. I think it's this, Michelle's Piano. And I'm okay with doxing it because it's a public store. So I think this is it. If this is it, I wonder. It looks like it's it when I'm looking at the pictures, but they're kind of taking a long time to load.
Yeah, Jackson just texted me and asked me if he could join halfway through, and I'm like, that sounds convoluted.
I don't know if I'd be able to do that because of the way we have it set up. The only way would be if we're okay with pausing for a second and getting him on. But I mean, I would love to have him on. The only way would be if he's okay with recording his own session. But then we would have to get his settings, though. So that would be a little convoluted, but not impossible.
I mean, yeah, I'm just texting him, and I'm like, yeah, we have a super convoluted setup, so I don't know how that would work.
I mean, we did get it working, so all we would have to do is have him be able to record his side, and that might not be that bad of a thing, except he has Streamlabs, so we would have to install OBS, and then you have to copy the settings, just like we did before. So, yep. Oh, you know what? Okay, here's the problem, though. Because the way we have it with green screens, we would have to make like a new... Because the way this works, Zach...
Shit.
Oh, I almost sneezed. There we go. The way this works, and you know this is how it's going to work, is if this is a perpetual green screen and your camera is on green, I mean, I could make a blue screen for him, but then that might fuck with more colors because I'm wearing a blue shirt. This is blue highlights. There's more blue. Green is easier to key out innately. So we would have to test it. So maybe this week, no, maybe next week. But we have to test it.
Yeah.
Text him next time. Next week we can do it.
Yeah. I'm definitely super down for that. And I love how keen you are about doing the Discord episodes.
Well, okay, here's the fun thing. Since we're doing Discord episodes right now, the main reason why we're doing the Discord episodes, I don't know if I'm keeping this in or if we're cutting out mentioning Jackson coming on, but just in case, if I did cut, hey, what's good? If I'm not able to figure out how to seamlessly cut, hey, what's good? So, I'm kind of doing a revamp of the setup, and because of that, I'd like to just go to Discord just to kind of change things up. It's a good opportunity to change things up because we've kind of, as much as we love the set right now, I'm going to be undergoing a big, not a big set change, but just, I call it the set rotation project because all I'm doing is basically rotating everything in my set clockwise. Mm-hmm. With the help of Zachary, of course.
Yes.
And because of that, it would be easier to just kind of keep doing this and making sure that, one, we keep this as an option, and so far it's been working fine, and we kind of figure it out so that way he doesn't always have to drive all the way down just to do an episode. If we're just like, fuck it, Zach doesn't want to drive down here, I just woke up, we'll just do a Discord session, that'll be fine, and we also get to have fun with fun camera angles. We don't get to work on it very much, so that's one thing. The second thing is, it's convenient. I guess that was the second point. But also, we can have more guests on now. We don't have to have them in person. Right. So I can have some internet friends on sometime. Mm-hmm. So and you as well. So that could be a lot of fun. Maybe, as long as we just have the Discord show going up and we do it every now and then, we can have more guests. Before we were really adamant on in person, and I still am adamant on in person, but I'm okay with a few Discord ones here and there.
Yeah. And I think it's really fun that after we've done, we did like 110 episodes. Us in person with different sets and all of that kind of stuff. I think just having this as just some type of variety, because with the way that office is set up right now, there's only so many different ways that we could set it up and have it look different. Whereas when we do it this way, where your camera angle can constantly change, my camera angle can constantly change. I mean, shit, I could go into a different room if I wanted to.
It's true.
So this is definitely a great outlet for creativity for us, because we love doing this kind of stuff, like just dinking around and trying different things, trying different ways to set up our camera, ways to set up lighting and sound and everything like that.
As an editor at heart, I love composition. Composition is one of my favorite things. So I love finding a set. That's why I wanted different sets in this room, and it kind of works. Like my ideal image of this room was to be able to point a camera at any corner and it'd be a different set. So that's kind of how I'm planning this next set to be. I kind of already did, but it was like a good first attempt of every single corner in this room. I mean, it kind of works. Like technically this is my streaming set, but I've never had my camera pointed this way, so I get a cool look this time around. And then kind of same thing with Zach. Zach has a really large room, like we said, so why not just point it at different spots and then have different sets for him? Because he used a really close-up camera anyways, so why not have just different backdrops for different places, Why not? Have some fun, right?
Yeah, so, and I managed to sneak the oh god, wrong way.
The Oregon.
I managed to sneak my little anime figure in there.
Oh, you can't even see it. It's blasted right now. Maybe. Can we see it?
Go that way.
I don't. It sees your mic. No, your USR really knows what a human body is.
Shit.
It's very goddamn sophisticated autofocus. It sees a shoulder and it's like, oh, that's a human. God damn it.
Damn you, eye tracking and object tracking, bastard.
Well, that's why you got to get it closer somehow, some way. But I mean, that's also a fun thing where you can point your camera at different places and see if you can get it closer. Yeah,
and I mean I think that's probably been one of my favorite things, is I've been able to kind of show off different aspects of my room, because like I have the couch and like that chair just so happened to be right in front of a bookshelf that had all of like my vintage camera stuff, and I have a ton of camera stuff behind me, which I wish you would be able to see, but it's
right.
crazy bokeh land right now.
Yeah, you do go for the heavy bokehs. I mean, maybe. I mean, I know you really love it, but if you have things you want to show in the back, maybe just knock it down a little bit.
Yeah, I know. There's just that part of me, that really enjoys that background separation.
Oh, I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you. I love shooting
so,
with tighter lenses.
Yeah. It's a very interesting look. It's a very interesting way to portray a set design, or a way to portray, all sorts of things. It can be really fun. And I'm trying to dink around with my mic without making a shit ton of noise.
Oh, no,
there
that's
we
fine.
go.
I mean, I don't really. Well, maybe we'll hear it on your end. Sorry, if I've been looking down, I apologize. I know looking at your phone while a podcast goes is not good juju's, but I've been trying to see if this Michelle's Piano Store is what it is. I'm pretty sure it is, because I remember it being like Michelle's Piano Store or Michael's Piano Store or something like that. I'm looking at the pictures. It looks like it's it, but at the same time, it's been so long. But it looks like that's what the interior is. I'm trying to find a picture of the gentleman who runs it, maybe, and I might remember his face. But also, for some reason, I mean, you won't be able to see it because it's bloated, or my phone screen is overexposed. But on mobile, the website's kind of broken.
Bro,
oh, no, I got it now.
It makes me so sad. My website is super fucky wucky on mobile.
I know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's really annoying, but it is what it is.
Okay, I haven't found a picture. Maybe I'll email them and say, hey, I don't know if you remember me. It's cool if you don't. You can lol me, but we'd love to go in and try it out again and kind of talk music again and have a time. I don't know. But yeah, I'll just email them and then maybe we can set something up. I mean, we'll probably won't record. That might be a bit too much, or not. I don't know. It depends. But I also just want to hang out.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely would be a good way to do some IRL stuff, honestly. Like, because if it's like a small town piano shop, like, I can't imagine that they would be upset about some positive publicity, right?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing would just be, I'm not really a IRL, vlogger, I guess. I'm not a big vlogger type of guy, so that'd be the only weird thing for me. Unless someone else holds a camera, which presumably would be you or me.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm always cameraman, so I don't mind. But yeah, I do think it would be really cool to just document us going and playing a piano, just because, like.
Okay, but here's the problem, right? I don't want to be, because if we record, right, I don't want to go into content creator mode, and be really, not necessarily cringy, but kind of cringy, right? And be like, look at all these pianos and this and that, and then when really all you and I want to do and just go in there and just play it. That's all we want to do.
Oh, what the fuck is up, you buttercups?
Okay.
Today we're going to be going into this piano store and we're going to go check out all this expensive shit. And then it's like the stereotypical, like, beam, 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 boom, boom, the background music.
I think I do. Is it the ukulele?
Yeah.
God damn it. I know it's the ukulele. I fucking hate that.
Yeah. It's
anybody who
the worst.
uses that, they're not trying hard enough. You know how much free BGM is out there these days? Come on, you can do better.
We just showed you 2 songs.
We did. And you can find literally a different ukulele BGM. That's probably royalty free, and it's probably just in the YouTube audio library.
Yeah, and it's probably better if you think about it.
Anything is better. I would rather put Baby Shark behind my videos than the Vine ukulele sound.
I would rather put monkeys spinning monkeys.
Do I remember how that goes? How does that go? Is that an OG BGM?
Yeah, it's like
it's like the Vanoss stuff, right?
Crap.
Or no?
Vanoss stuff?
Is it not? Like a?
Yeah, I think so. Hang on, I'm gonna pull it up.
Are you gonna put it on the Watch Together? Put on the Watch Together, because I still have it going. I can hear it.
Oh yeah.
It'll just be really quiet. Okay. Okay, the problem is there's a lot of songs that I remember. The problem with the Vine thing, it's not a bad song inherently. It's just so overused and overplayed that you hear it and you're like, fuck, I don't want to hear this again. But you know what? Hopefully Oh, here we go. Oh, this. Yeah. See, this is the Vanoss thing.
Yeah.
If you played this in the beginning of the episode, I would have been so fucking upset with you, Zach.
I really wanted to.
This is what this is right now, Zach. This is a clip that we can cut out in TikTok because this is just the TikTok music anyways. And then we're waiting for you, Zach, to say something really witty.
I fell down the stairs and my shoes
fuck up,
fell
Zach.
off.
Nobody wants to hear about your shoes. Nobody wants to hear about how you fell off. I don't know what you fell off. I don't want to know about what you fell off. Nobody fucking cares, Zach, that you fell off. Okay. I'm gonna sit here. You know what this is, Zach?
It looks like poop water.
Poop water?
I don't know what it is. What is it? Tell me.
It's close. So recently I've been having indigestion, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god. Do you remember that episode where you sat there and talked about the fact that you had the shizzling drits when you got back from the Philippines?
From the Philippines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were like, there was this weird thing where, I was totally fine. Like, I didn't have any stomach problems when I was in the Philippines, and then I got back.
I'm so fucking distracted by this music because I'm looking at the Discord. I'm looking at the screen, and it's literally just a video clip. That's what this music is. This music is literally funny moments music. And I don't know whether they hate it or not, but you will never catch me putting this in a video. But now it's in this. Zach, fucking stop the music.
Fine.
God.
I'm trying to think.
What are you trying? What are you doing?
Hang on. I'm trying to think of another one.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. I will talk about the sludge water though. It's not. What?
Sorry.
What was that?
Oh, I just got my ears fondled by just absolutely outrageously loud YouTube stuff.
Well, I'm glad I didn't hear that.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that the people who are watching my angle or like watching this didn't hear that.
I'm really glad too. So anyways, this is just protein shake, but I've found a way to make protein iced coffee.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
It's pretty fascinating. So I'm a coffee guy, kind of getting into it. These days, I haven't been doing it too much. It was mainly just a routine to get myself back early in the morning. But since I may or may not be starting graveyard shift this coming fall, I'm reverting back to nighttime person. So I haven't really had a reason to do coffee again. So I have this, right, which looks like doo-doo sludge water, but it's actually just melted iced coffee. However, with 2 scoops of protein.
Oh.
And it just tastes like iced coffee.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah, sorry if that wasn't. I feel like that the lead up felt like it should have been a lot bigger. Like I added this and I added that, and I found this substitute for this. No, it's just. Remember my Folgers iced coffee?
Mm-hmm.
It's that, but with 2 scoops of protein. That's it. Well, it's chocolate protein, so it's kind of like a coffee chocolate type vibe, right? And it's also with water instead of milk because we don't have any milk. But I've also just kind of been doing water instead, and it's been fine. I've been having this fear of using water for protein because it tastes like shit, but just adding some sugar and also coffee, it helps. So I've been doing that.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, being able to find a way to make it so that it actually tastes good, because I was on the protein grind for a long time, and now that I'm thinking about it, I really want to go to Costco and get one of those giant ass boxes of the Premier protein shakes, because your boy needs calories.
Well, you're not going to get calories. Well, I don't know about Premier specifically, but they're not high in calories, are they?
I think they're like 400 calories or something like that.
Per serving?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's basically just a whole meal replacement in a way.
In a way.
Yeah.
It really depends though, because
what? Okay, if you're doing this, I'm gonna put my coffee down, and you're doing this now. Everyone's gonna hear this, so you're preparing to engage in funny moments. So go on, Zach. I'll let you.
So basically, I was super into like homemade protein shakes when Kevin was still living here, and I was just being lazy and not wanting to make my own, and now I don't have any. I don't have any protein powder or anything, so the Premier protein stuff is really good, and I like it. I thought every time you switched back, I thought you were gonna be like in a different position. I spoken into existence. Okay, all right, okay, fine. I get it. No more of that.
No more of that. Things we're playing Gmod prop hunt. Jesus.
You're welcome. See, this is why. This is exactly the reason why you shouldn't have me and a watch together in like in this type of circumstance, because I know that I am not mature enough to have.
Well, this
that
is the only
power.
way we can do this. That's true. Maybe I'll just revoke your, revoke your status to be able to add things, but no more. Fuck you. Anyways, yeah, no, I've been on the protein grind. I don't like talking about it. I like talking about working out because it pains me as someone that's health focused, which I'm not. I'm just trying to, be a good boy.
Yeah.
But I've been in the kitchen, I've been making foods and stuff, so it's been a lot of fun. And that's about as health conscious as I'm gonna get. I said my rant, my spiel on how I feel about the gym bros community, which is to be fair, I'm not stereotyping them, everybody like them, because in that, you should watch the episode. In my rant, I'm not calling out everybody who wants to be a personal trainer on YouTube. I'm calling out the people that's trying to force unrealistic standards to people that will never achieve certain goals without doing certain things or injecting certain things into their body.
Right. Yeah, and I think about it in a very similar light. And the reason why people work out is not always going to be exactly the same. And when I say that, I mostly mean not everyone is going to be working out to get big. Not everyone's going to be eating healthy. Not everyone's going to be eating healthy to lose weight. Not everyone's going to be, training cardio to burn fat.
No.
Like the man, I haven't said this in a while.
Sure.
The use case.
Use case.
We're back on the bingo board.
Use case.
Anywho, so when you think of the different use case of different diets.
Oh, he said it again.
People do different things for different reasons, okay? And so the reason why you're trying to clean up your diet may be entirely different from the reason why I would, or the diet that you have to maintain the physique that you have right now is going to be entirely different from mine, just because our bodies are built different.
Yes.
Everybody's body is a little bit different. So for people to look at it like there's one real solution, how to get abs in 45 seconds, like that's all bullshit.
Here's the thing I've been finding really fascinating is the people that are on my side and are criticizing the eat healthy community and the do this to reach that do this to reach this goal community.
Right.
And it's actual dietitians and health guru, is guru the right word? Health people,
Yeah.
Health trainers, just dietitians, right?
Or like personal trainers and that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to find them really quick so I can properly shout them out. Not that they would need it from me or from us, but I love their content. I love seeing it. There's this one guy specifically. You may have seen him on TikTok because he reacts to basically people's diets and how many calories they're counting, and talks about like how some people are doing a terrible job because they're promoting eating disorders, basically, by not eating enough calories and not looking the way you want to look, forcing standards, things like that. I need to find him because he's great and he makes great points. But it's basically like, your super skinny Instagram model and like, this is what I eat every day to maintain my fit. And it's like 1,000 calories.
Yeah.
1,000 calories.
They're like, oh, today for breakfast, I ate 2 ounces of oatmeal and a single strawberry.
Yep.
And then for lunch, I had half of a bean burrito and a shake that's made from cashews.
Basically, yes.
And water.
And then for dinner, I just breathed.
And that's how I have a 6-pack. And it's like, bro, It's like, bro, you look like you're withering away. Like,
No,
Jesus
but that's
Christ.
the thing, right? Because one of the most reoccurring things that keep popping up in these type of videos that he kind of bashes, basically. It is complete bashing, and it's rightful bashing. It's rightful bashing. So it's fine for me to call him that, or to call what he's doing that, because it's teaching. Wait, no, so this is the recurring thing. It's that at some point they'll talk about, oh, I was hungry, so I decided to splurge and eat some sweets or whatever. Yeah, you're hungry because you didn't eat enough carbs to fill you up for the certain meal or whatever, right? Or you didn't eat
Right.
enough proteins to do this, and you didn't, like, you're basically starving yourself. And the more you starve yourself, the more your brain has these cravings for sweet things, and that's why you're like, oh, I was hungry, so I wanted to or get some ice cream. Yeah, because you were fucking hungry. And because you're starving yourself. Oh, I dropped my phone. And he was getting super mad. I'm not doing it justice, so if you're on TikTok or whatever and you find it, you'll probably know who it is. But it's these actual dietitians and health experts that are just talking about, listen, and this is a lesson that I understood because I don't follow that whole gym bro regimen, but it's a lesson that I've begun to nail down because of these people, these nice dietitian people. I don't know if you've seen her TikToks, but it's like this nice Asian lady who's talking about, I'm a dietitian and here's what to eat for the day or whatever. Here's what to eat for the morning. Great lady, fantastic. And she makes awesome looking food, great looking food that still hits actual, whatever nutrients you need to hit and still hit your calorie points. And one of the big lessons I'm trying to say that I learned is that when you're in a quote unquote calorie deficit or you're a diet or whatever you're trying to do, that doesn't mean you're skipping meals. It means you have to balance your diet accordingly so that you can have the right amount of meals and keep yourself full and full, like actually full, like your tummy full, and have enough energy for throughout the day.
Right.
That's it, right? It's not, I want to hit this many pounds, so I'm just going to not eat lunch. That's not what dieting is. It's
right.
It's managing your calories throughout the day.
So it's kind of hard for me to sit here and feel like I can form a strong enough opinion about it, about like dieting and all of that kind of stuff, just because I'm not knowledgeable enough to feel like I can have a standing one way or the other.
Right.
It's one of those things that I haven't really dove down the deep end of, like looking at different diets for different body types and like, all of that. I just know because Kevin, my brother, he spent a long time doing like personal training and that kind of stuff. He's been bodybuilding for 10 years or something like that. And a lot of the information that I have that I've gathered has just been from him or from people who were around him. And a lot of that stuff was specifically focusing on bodybuilding and gaining muscle, burning fat, like all of that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit hard for me to really have a strong opinion about it either way. I mean, I don't think that people should be starving themselves to try to make them feel good.
Well, the main opinion about it is just don't starve yourself. That's basically the main priority, because that's the big thing, because that's how you that's how you develop eating disorders. That's how 13-year-old Haley is going into high school soon, and she wants to look like the skinny bimbos that she sees on Instagram and shit, right? And she wants to know how to do it, so she goes on TikTok and finds this one really, Instagram model type character, cut and paste Instagram baddie type girl, and sees that she is eating 1,000 calories. And Haley is like, okay, I want to look like her. I'm going to do that. And that's how you develop an eating disorder. That's basically the big thing, right? The second big thing is part of it is that eating disorder thing, but also you can still meet your goals and still eat a lot of food. Like one of the big things that he drills home is that you can fit ice cream into your dessert. Like you can do that as long as you calculate your calories and your carbs and proteins or whatever correctly. You can fit ice cream in there and you'll be completely fine.
Right. Yeah, and it's really fascinating because my body is designed as basically a garbage disposal. Like it does not matter how much I put into my body, it just burns through it like it's oil. And it's annoying because you were talking about that 1,000 calories in a day example, and I for me to be able to gain weight in a healthy way, I would have to probably eat 4,000 or 5,000 calories every day, which is astronomical.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's hard to gauge, because my metabolism is faster than Usain Bolt, and it pisses me off because every time I try to gain weight in any way, it just doesn't happen.
Well, do you need to gain weight?
I mean, I'm
Are you under for your height? You know what I mean?
Oh, for my height, probably. I'm sitting at 160 right now, and I should probably be heavier than that. But, I mean, I'm also a big, tall, lanky man, so it's
true.
It's really hard to gauge what is healthy and not healthy for me. It's always been this is the amount of food that I need to eat, and it can be literally anything, and it just kind of does stuff, and it makes it so that my brain goes, and it's weird.
Well, here's the thing, but you're not super health focused. That's not your big thing in life, right?
Right.
So it doesn't matter that much to you. As long as you feel healthy, then who cares, right?
Right.
And that's kind of the big thing. I'll let you finish, but I'm going to finish really quick. One of the things that he kind of drills home is the idea of, it's so funny to hear what this sounds, to hear this as a term. I forget what it's called. I think it's called intuitive eating. You know what that means, Zach? That means eating when you're hungry.
That's crazy.
Now, to be fair, it is that is an actual difficult thing to do, because your appetite is different than your hunger.
Right.
So you can have you can just keep shoveling down food when you shouldn't be. So there is a balance of that. So intuitive eating is an actual thing to be worked on, and is actually a skill to have. But it's a near complete opposite of counting your calories, counting your protein, counting your carbs, and instead just be like, okay, and this is what I do, because I don't count my calories or carbs. I just say, okay, I probably need, I'm halfway through the day, I've eaten 4 or 5 eggs for breakfast, and I've eaten a bunch of chicken for lunch. I probably need probably eat this much more to meet my protein goal, and then, gauge how hungry I get afterwards. That's basically how I operate, because I've been living for 23 years. And this can be completely different for everybody, and it should be different for everybody. But for me, I know what I eat in 23 years. I know what makes me hungry. I know what makes me full. I know what foods I dislike, and what foods I do like. So I can just be like, okay, what do I need to eat more of that I'm not already eating?
Right.
So I already know that I don't eat a lot of vegetables, so I just a substitute for vegetables. Substitute some things for vegetables and add it into it. And then if I need more protein, I know how much protein I normally eat. So if I want to meet my goal of 150 grams of protein per 150 grams or 150 pounds of body weight, then I'm like, okay, I've eaten this much. Let's eat this much more, just about. I don't need to measure it. I mean, you should, but I don't care to, because I'm not trying to be an Olympic bodybuilder or whatever,
Right.
I'm just a guy.
Just a guy doing stuff and things. And I think the point that I was gonna make was just, I guess, just to kind of tie it up, at least this subcategory of the weird random conversation we've been having, is that there's an important balance between diet and exercise, and it seems like those two things end up complementing themselves really well, in a lot of different ways. Like, if you are more active, then your body inherently needs more food to keep yourself running, right? Like, when I say that I need to eat 4,000 or 5,000 calories in a day, that's not because I'm sitting not doing a whole lot. Like, that I'm out rock climbing. When I'm at work, I'm on my feet for 10 hours straight. I've always been a very active person, and so that's why that is set so high. And it's also because my metabolism's really fast. I have a really high appetite, And that's just kind of like how my body works. And so if you have a very active lifestyle like me, or like a lot of people that I know, it takes a lot more to fill you up and keep you full. And it's that intuitive eating that you were talking about, you know, like eating when you're hungry, and knowing what kind of stuff fuels your body and makes you feel good. Because the purpose, the way that I see it in my eyes, the purpose of dieting is to make you feel good, right? Like,
I like that,
the purpose of trying to get yourself healthier is to feel healthier, and not just be eating nothing but chicken and rice and hating your life just so that you could be under 5% body fat. You know, like that idea has really stuck with me. And you know, I'll be talking to Kevin because he's still on the grind. Like, he's still on it. I'll talk to him about like different diets that he's done and everything like that. And he's like, oh yeah, I was miserable for this entire time. Like, you know, a lot of bodybuilders will go through a season of bulking and then a season of cutting, like cutting weight.
Right.
And so when you're trying to cut all that excess body fat, you know, Kevin was sitting there telling me like, it's miserable. Like, I hated my life for this entire time. But he looked like he was in the best shape of his entire life. But that, like, I look at it as quality of life. Like, if your quality of life has drastically gone down since you started this diet, since you started this workout regimen, like, if you just hate your life when you're doing this thing, is it really worth all of the pain and suffering that you put yourself through?
Yeah.
Like, that, you know, that's just how I see it.
No, I agree. I mean, I know my cousin Brandon, who I mentioned before. I built a computer for him, and I'd love to have him on, especially since now we are doing the Discord thing, so it's possible, although he does live close, so maybe we can have him on the studio one day. He's aspiring to be a personal trainer as well, but an actual one, like he's really into fitness. He's always been into fitness. And he say this, is a very picky eater. you know, he is not exactly the big, and this is not me selling him short for when he does start his personal training thing, but he is not the biggest like health guy as far as things go. Like, he'll eat what he needs to eat, but as far as like, you know, slamming a salad here and there, he would rather be caught dead, you know?
Right.
Like, as far as figuring out what he wants to eat for the day, I don't think he meal preps. I don't know if he cooks. He does have a girlfriend, but I don't know if like that really matters. He just kind of does what he does, and he's a big guy. He doesn't work out. I mean, back then during like high schoolish days, he was like pretty jacked. These days he's stopped a little bit because of, you know, work and presumably other life things, which I won't comment on. He can comment that on himself, but he still looks great, and he loves fitness a ton. So. But even a guy like him who loves fitness that much, he still is just eating whatever and having fun with life. He's a big adventurous guy. He loves traveling all the time. He has like 15 credit cards, and he develops points here and there, so he can travel all the time. You know, he's pretty smart with that stuff. And well, Zach, when you're traveling, if you're traveling and you're on vacation and you're counting your calories and proteins and carbs and stuff while on vacation, you're probably a very miserable human being.
Right.
You know, and I don't know what best way to say it. You're just, I mean, you need to calm down a little bit, you know?
I mean, that's kind of what I was saying, you know, the quality of life thing. And I mean, you know, there are people, and my brother being one of them, who will go and work out when they're on vacation. Like when I was down in Hawaii with the whole family, there was a gym at the resort that we were staying at, and my brother went there. I think he went like every other day for the full week that we were there. But like that's a little bit different because like he's just trying to maintain what he's spent so much time working on, right? Like there's a difference between like trying to maintain it and trying to like actively like, oh yeah, dude, I'm gonna hit some PRs when I'm on vacation. Right, it's like, Jesus, man, like chill out.
No, it's
relax.
You just
drink a mojito. Like, Jesus.
I know, right? Calm down a little bit. I think whenever me and Brandon, when we went to the Philippines, he was also talking about, we're gonna go to the gym whenever we can, just because we can. And I agreed. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Zach, we never win in that gym.
Oh, good.
We never
Good.
win in that gym.
That's a good thing.
The gym was if we're looking at my house, our room is this room right here, right? The gym is our kitchen. That's how far it is from us.
Didn't go once.
We didn't go once.
Here's the thing. That's awesome. I fucking love that. I could not imagine any other way to express, like, that's the best way to do it. Like, if you go to the gym and you work out when you're on vacation and my phone or my microphone is creeping away from me for some reason, if you do that, that's great. If you say that you're going to do it and you don't do it, that's totally fine. Like, you do you, boo-boo. I mean, you just enjoy life,
Yeah,
you know?
I have a good example. There's one bodybuilder boy that I watch, and he's awesome. He's a great creator. I forget what his name is. I think it's Lem. I could be wrong. He's a mad buff guy, super buff, all natural.
Right.
At least he says. Whether or not it's true, we don't know. But that's what he's going for. He's natural, and honestly, I believe him because I watch a lot of his shorts, and he looks great, and he documents all of his things, and he looks pretty natural to me. And he's also entering like bodybuilding competition stuff too. So he's a bona fide fitness dude, right, on the space. Right. But there was one I watched where he was like, I went on vacation for I think a week or 2 weeks or something like that, and I ate 3,000 calories every day, and then this is what I looked before, and then this is what I looked after. That's right, nothing happened. That's what it was. That's what it was because the reality is, yes, technically you lose muscle and you obtain fat faster than you lose muscle and get more fat rather than the opposite. Losing fat and getting muscle. That's true. But if you regularly work out, like regularly, you can take a weekend off, you can take a week off and it'll be literally fine.
Right.
It'll be fine. And then you get back into it, you'll be fine. I mean, unless you're shoveling like 5,000, 6,000 calories strictly of Big Macs and grease and fat, then maybe at that point, that's more of a life choice.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, some people like to live that supersize me life,
It's true.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
I agree. I don't want to talk about fitness all the time because I feel like I'm ripping on the bros, but at the same time, I love fitness. You love rock climbing, Yeah. I love boxing and basketball and stuff. You and I, we're on the computers and we have our glasses, but we love going out, and exercising. We do not shy away from the exercise, the sports ball, for that matter, right?
Yeah, and I will tell you, over the last 5 days, I haven't been able to go rock climbing, or probably the last week now that I think about it. And
because of the cabbage.
Yeah, because of the cabbage. And it's been fucking torture. Like, I hate it. I hate not being able to go out and go rock climbing.
Same. I sprained my wrist, Zach. Did I even mention this yet? I haven't mentioned this,
Probably not.
No,
on the
I haven't.
podcast,
I sprained I went out to the Lincoln City the other week because we always go for Father's Day and Veterans Day. Those are the 2 days that we go to throughout the week that we go down to Lincoln City, and it's for a Veterans Day around that same time as my late grandfather's birthday. So we go there to the same beach every single time, and then the same thing for Father's Day for that same reason. We do that every year and haven't missed any except during cabbage.
Yeah.
And now we're back to it. It's actually been a while. I missed last time because of work, but now I don't work. Haha. So here we are. Anyways, that's besides the point. We went back, and it was a lot of fun. It was a great time. 4 days. Usually we go 3 days, so 4 days was fantastic and way longer than I thought it would be, but it's fine. And we were playing. Okay, so I'll just cut straight to the point. Why I sprained my wrist. So every year we have an annual adults versus kids basketball game.
Oh man, that sounds like so much fun.
It's so fun and it's so competitive because we've been doing it every year since I was young. And
so you switched sides, or did you?
No,
switch
not yet.
Sides?
No, we're still in the kids area. That's what we call it. But we're the kids, and then the adults are the uncles, right?
Oh yeah. So kids versus parents type deal.
Basically, yeah. But we've been saying kids versus adults game because that's. But kids versus parents is the better word term for it, but we've been calling it kids versus adults. So that's what it is. And we just play a pickup game. One time I ran full court. That was torture, but it was a lot of fun. And funny enough, every single time we always lose, which fucking sucks. We're still like 0 and whatever, 10. But that's besides the point. We went there. We didn't play with the adults this time. Not this time. Maybe we will on Veterans Day, but it didn't work out. Also, not all the uncles were there. So I was like, whatever. But I played with our other younger cousins. I found out I suck now, which is kind of tragic to find out, but that's okay. That's besides the point. You may have thought, like, take a guess, Zach. How do you think I broke my wrist? Or sprained it, rather. Take a guess.
I want to say you tripped and fell.
I tripped and fell?
Yeah.
Final answer?
Sure.
Okay. No, it was not as cool as that. Well, I guess tripping and falling is not very cool, but it's even lamer than that.
Oh no!
It was when we went to play basketball. It was not me doing a hustle rebound or anything cool like that. No. So we went to the rec center. It was not an outdoor. It was a rec center, which used to be closed, but now it was open again. And somehow it was completely open. Nobody else in the court. So it was really fun to have a full court. When we walked in there, I mentioned I was into boxing, right? I've gotten into boxing recently. Not that I'm sparring or not that I'm going to a gym or anything. I just I do it for cardio, and it's just fun. And you should find a way to make cardio fun, because running on a treadmill is fucking torture. If you do that, you're a psychopath. I don't care. I'm sorry. I don't care if you're watching South Park or Office. I don't care. You're weird.
It's torture.
You are weird. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, so I do basketball and boxing as cardio. So I walk in there, and in the corner of the basketball court, of all places, there was a heavy bag.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm. Now, Zach, I've been boxing for a while now, and I love it a lot, but I don't have a heavy bag. I think I mentioned this before. I punch a pole in my garage.
Yeah.
Which isn't like a wooden pole or anything. It's like a support beam, so it's pretty chunk. Don't worry. I mean, I'm hitting it with straps and 14-ounce gloves, which are pretty padded. 14 ounces is a lot. I think in a regulation game, it's like 2 ounces. So 14 is a lot. And that's going to be the huge motif of this, because I decided, you know what? I've never hit a heavy bag. Let me go for it. So I walked up to it, put the basketball down, my bag down, and just gave it a little, a couple of jabs. And it was cool. It was great. That was fine. And then a couple hooks, and it was good.
Mm-hmm.
And then just one of my hooks, I went for a really tough, like a really hard one. And that was my downfall. Because I didn't tighten my...
just go...
Yep, I didn't tighten my wrist enough, and I went for it, and it went... And I'm like... Oh! Ow.
Yeah.
But it didn't hurt immediately. It hurt when I did it, and I was like, oh, that sucked. But I got to play basketball for the rest of the day, and it was fine. It wasn't until after where that shit fucking sucked. And that's how I sprayed my wrist, because I went to hit a heavy bag before even playing basketball, and I punched it too hard without proper support. So I'm going to say this is my fault, because it is bad heebie-jeebies to hit a heavy bag, a leather bag with sand in it. It is bad heebie-jeebies to hit a heavy bag without gloves and without straps.
So I have also learned that lesson.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe I might not have learned it enough, because I still do this every once in a while, but I have a punching bag here at my house.
And you're smacking it with your wrists? Open wrists? Open hands?
Yeah, like I lost the punching, or like the gloves that we had, and even those gloves were like the MMA gloves, where it's like the knuckles are open, so there have been a couple of different times where I was just going at it, and I feel like the bag that we have is over 100 pounds. And I'd be punching it and doing all that kind of stuff, and then it would be swinging back and forth, and then I would go to hit it like right when it connects, and it would just go.
Yeah, that's no good. That's no good.
Yeah, so now my wrists are a little fucky wucky, but
yeah.
I mean, honestly, I I haven't had that many injuries punching things. I mean,
Well, I'm glad, Zach. I'm pumped for that. I'm glad to hear that.
I have kind of messed up my hands a little bit. Like, I have scars on my knuckles because before the punching bag, I would punch a metal garage door, which is obviously not good for your health.
No.
Or your hands. And even after that, I think for a period of time, I would just punch the door, which is not good for your health.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so I have like scars on my knuckles, but I've never broken anything or like sprained my wrist real bad. It's just kind of like skin that was once on my knuckles. It was gone, which is not good. You should not hit things when you're angry because you shouldn't hit hard things that could injure you when you're
yes,
angry.
this is why you invest in a heavy bag and really nice padded gloves.
Right. I think that's a good. That is a good.
That is,
you know what I mean?
Indeed a good. Yeah, yeah. I made an error in my judgment.
I made an error.
I made an error.
The
scissor.
I realized I never did this, but this is really funny.
Okay. What are you doing? Oh. Okay.
I just wanted to do that. That's all.
Okay.
That's literally all. Could you see the picture behind it?
I mean, you didn't really. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's our high school.
Yeah.
And that's you and Alec, right?
Or no, that was at the middle school actually.
Middle school. That was at Lauren.
Yeah.
Wait, is that Alec?
Yeah.
Alec was in our middle school?
No, that was a picture that we took later on, like way later on, like a couple years ago.
I was like, I feel like our middle school was so small. I remember everybody in it.
Yeah, no, I didn't just randomly pull a middle school photo out of the archives just for that. But
It's a pretty good pick.
I mean, yeah, it was just us being goofy, honestly.
Well, I'm glad. But speaking of middle schools, we definitely need to hit back this music store and see if we could slam some keys again, or if the
Bro, that would be
university
so
works.
fun.
I
That
mean,
would be so much fun.
I think definitely I think the university would let us, especially since I am technically still a student. Technically.
Are you?
Technically,
Are you?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's just that I'm not attending any classes, but I gave them my money, and I'm in debt to them. So technically, yes, I am a student.
You're like, I've paid you guys so much money. Let me just go and play a fucking piano.
Exactly.
Damn it.
Yeah. The only thing would be, I think I tried to go one day in a summer, but it was locked and I couldn't find a janitor. So that would be the only issue immediately. Maybe I could find someone to open it for me, but I doubt it. But we could always try. I mean, I'm always down to go on a day adventure, Nuki and Zach. That'd be fun.
A Nuki and Zach random adventure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be fun. But yeah, that I'd say that's probably a good place to end it. We talked a really long time. Has been technical difficulties, but it's all good. Glad to keep having some more episodes with you, Zach.
I mean, it really do be like that sometimes. Like,
It do,
and the nice thing that I've noticed that you and I have been really good at doing is just kind of rolling with the punches and just kind of being able to be like, it is what it is. I'm not going to stress about it too much, and I know that you're not going to stress about it too much either.
Well, the thing that's going to make me stress is that I have to account for it now in editing when, I fucking hate editing, Zach. I did it for 8 years. Do you think I like it still?
I mean,
fucking kidding me, Zach?
It's fine. Everything's fine. I don't know what you're talking about.
But yes, thank you everybody so much for watching. I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. We love these Discord episodes. I know they might be a little jarring, but we really want to get it down really nicely. And I think we're pretty close to it, honestly. We have a nice way to record every single time. And hopefully it's been really entertaining. And we look forward to having some online guests this time around, which would be a ton of fun. So
yeah, I know that Jackson was wanting to get on.
He was, yes.
And so we'll definitely have him on, and that'll be really cool. And then it's really fun too because This is one of those select few occasions where audio listeners are confused for a very justifiable reason. Because our audio quality doesn't change that much, but the video quality,
It's true, yeah.
what the videos
it's
look like.
mainly a video thing, so it's like, you guys were in Discord this time?
Yeah. But yeah, if you guys enjoy this video, go ahead and leave a like down below. And if you're new here and enjoy listening to us shoot the shit, go ahead and subscribe so that you can watch us shoot the shit some more. We got some links down below to my socials, to Arthur's socials. Yeah, leave a comment. Just about random shit. We have YouTube pulling up some videos that you might enjoy. And yeah, peace and chicken grease. I love your face.
Yes,
See you
goodbye,
next
everybody.
time.